Greetings everyone! This is the second part of my item crafting guide for Harvest League and specifically for the Kai Spectre build. Today we'll be going over these boots and the exact process of crafting them. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Like we did with the armor piece, the first thing we want to do is identify the mods that our item has to have. In my case, I wanted +1 to Spectre gems, life, resists, decent movement speed, and I also wanted to be able to craft Cannot Be Frozen, so I could free up a flask slot for shock immunity. Looking at this chart from Craft of Exile, we can see that +1 to Spectre gems can only roll on Elder influenced boots, and is a suffix. This knowledge makes our base choice pretty clear. I personally went for these Elder influenced two-toned boots with an eye level of 76. Why 76, you might ask? There are two reasons for that. 1. Looking back at Craft of Exile, I can see that I can roll all but the highest tier of resists and movement speed with my base, while simultaneously removing many tiers of unwanted mods from my pool. I also see that tier 1 life is unaffected. Effectively, this all means that though I cannot roll the highest tier for resists and movement, I can roll tier 1 life with this low and eye level, and I also make alt rolling for Spectres easier. This happens because as the weight pool size decreases, the chance to roll rarer mods increases. The second reason I chose an eye level 76 base is the cost I'd have to pay to roll these tier 1 mods. Let me explain. I got my boots for about 60 chaos in a time when eye level 86 two-toned boots, which are required for tier 1 movement, went for about 4 exalts. That effectively means that I'd be paying 10 times more just to be able to roll tier 1 movement and tier 1 resists. At the time, that didn't seem like a good investment and still doesn't to me. However, if you want a totally GG mirror tier item, then you should go for eye level 86 boots, and this guide will work just the same. With that out of the way, back to the crafting. The first thing I did was alt spam my boots until +1 to Spectre gems rolled. Ideally, you want this to spawn on its own without any other mods or with useful or easily removable mods. If a bad mod rolls, like +2 mana, you can simply beast imprint plus annul or try to alt roll it again until you get the Spectres. Since mine spawned with clean +1 to Spectres, I went ahead and imprinted it before augment wriggling it. That was to ensure that if I got any of the undesirable mods mentioned above, I could simply return to my base and try again. Do this until you get mods you need or can easily remove later. In my case, I got Hybrid ES plus armor and tier 7 fire res. The next thing I wanted to do was block all my suffixes to ensure that when I augmented life, I could only get hybrid life plus life and not the life regen suffix. With that in mind, I used augment cold to get cold resist. I used cold instead of lightning or chaos because both include undesirable prefixes I wanted to avoid. I got tier 2 cold, which I decided was good enough and kept. After this was done, I simply augmented life and removed plus added life until I got a decent life roll. The item then looked like this. The final suffix I wanted was chaos res. I knew that simply augmenting chaos would not work as there are both chaos prefixes and suffixes. With that in mind, I'd have to block the prefixes to ensure the chaos res, which is a suffix. I removed the fire res to open up a suffix slot, and bench crafted movement speed since I was also using the boots while crafting, and it is also a prefix. I now had 3 prefixes and 2 suffixes. I used augment chaos and got tier 2 chaos res on my first try, which I kept. If you get something worse, simply remove plus add chaos or the resist of your choice. The item now looked like this, which is still pretty great. However, if you can recall, I also wanted Cannot Be Frozen. That ultimately meant that I had to have the speed mod on the item. To that end, I used an augment speed seed and removed defense seed to get rid of the ES plus armor we got at the beginning of the video. That left me with an open prefix and a 15% increased movement speed mod. Lastly, I crafted Cannot Be Frozen. Now, this item isn't 100% complete yet, I still have to roll 25 to 30% MS on it, but since that craft is expensive and there's other projects in the works, 15% is good enough for now. And that's it! If you like what you see here and want to see more, be sure to follow me on Twitch and on Twitter. The links are in the description. I'll also be working on my next craft on Twitch over the next week or so be sure to tune in for that. It's turning out pretty insane. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.